Argyle win their header, should be hooked away from the edge of the penalty area, and Argyle have done it. Liverpool 0, Plymouth Argyle 0. 7 times the Reds have won this competition. 5 times European champions as well. But Plymouth Argyle have come to their backyard and they've fought a sterling rearguard action. And at the end of the day, you can't take it away from them, Chris. It's a wonderful result for everybody related to Plymouth Argyle.
Well, this is a wonderful, wonderful day.
Whole week when we were in training, just having people queuing up outside, it just felt like there was a constant stream of fans just queuing up for tickets, and everywhere you went people spoke about it, and that's the feel you want.
We were first and foremost a very tight, solid unit, and that's how we got our success that season.
To say that you played against such big teams in the competition, had those moments and stuff, it's definitely up there as one that if I do look back on my career and talk to people about it, it's something that will come up.
23.
Ooh, 23, Liverpool. The 7-time winners. They won it, of course, last back in 2006. We've seen the goals.
Number 63.
And Liverpool will play Newport County or Plymouth Argyle, who drew 0-0 on Saturday.
I remember being sat with Gary Sawyer in his house watching it as it came through, and unfortunately for Gary, he was injured at that time. So there's me jumping up and down, like so excited that we've got Liverpool away. He sort of sat there quite subdued, really, knowing that if we were to get there, he wouldn't be a part of it.
I can remember the feeling training the following day when we knew about it, and is all the boys were talking about, despite efforts to try and keep it on a muted level. It was definitely something that we were excited about and wanted to experience.
The WhatsApp group then kicked in, and the lads were, going mad. And obviously from that point on, we knew that we had to get past Newport, which thankfully we did. We played Newport over the years quite a few times, so we were well used to the surroundings and everything like that. The conditions weren't great, I remember that. But there was more pressure on it this time, not only because the cameras were there, but also because of what was awaiting the winners.
We'd gone there earlier on in the season and played Newport. I remember, and I think we won. I think we definitely won, but it was tough. The pitch at the time was horrendous. That's what I remember. And yeah, I think we all knew what a difficult game it would be, especially with where they were, the way they played, their style of play, and how, with the carrot of playing Liverpool away from home as well. I think everyone fully aware of what was at stake.
And there were quite a few lads in our changing room at that time that were Liverpool fans. I think Graham Carey being one. So we wanted to play at Anfield, and it was an unbelievable prize for the winners at the end.
Definitely put a lot more on the game. And I think coming through it's a bit of a relief when you get through that game. Obviously playing a team at your level, coming through that and getting the opportunity to play at such a big club and a big stadium, it's obviously what you dream of when you're a young lad, and when you're still playing, even you want to play in those stadiums. It was definitely had a lot more on the game, knowing that you were playing a Premier League team and a team of Liverpool's magnitude as well. It made a big difference.
I remember it going to extra time, did it, when there was a penalty, and I remember an instance between Graham and Arnie Garita. I think Big Arnie took the ball off him and missed the pen.
Now can Garita beat Day? Oh, off the post, and then he touched it himself. It has to be a free kick, and the chance is gone for Plymouth. Oh, what a let-off for Newport.
I've got no idea why Graham wasn't on the first one, if I'm honest, thinking about it now. Whether Arnie just picked the ball up or not, I'm not sure.
But then we got awarded another one later on, and thankfully G converted it like he always did.
It is going to be Carey this time. And he sends Joe Day the wrong way. And finally, we have a goal in this cup tie.
I had full faith that he'd put the ball away, and once we did go that goal up, then we were able to see it through. And we just had to roll our sleeves up. Like I say, there was lads that were very good at that.
You try and normalise it, but it's not normal. It is a big event.
Between the Newport game and then the game actually at Anfield, you know, there were a couple of weeks where lads wanted to be on the pitch for that game. So we were, you know, everyone was playing for their places really, because there was this carrot at the end that everyone wanted a part of.
The whole city seemed to be fully invested in trying to get to Liverpool somehow, and yeah, it was class. I remember at the time it was a real buzz around the game, and everything about it was just geared up for that game.
You've got tickets, you've got family to think about, you've got knowing it's going to be on TV, knowing match of the day kind of things that it'll be shown on, and whatever it might be shown on Sky Sports and different things. So it does add a lot of pressure to it. A lot of pressure comes with it, but yeah, I think it goes back to that embracing it really, because you know, that's kind of stuff you have to deal with. You know what's going to happen. It's whoever deals with it the best usually tends to perform and give the best out on the pitch really.
We were a well-drilled team, but I think we did do a little bit of work on sort of like defensive shape, because I think it was also important during the game that we were going to be this compact team, hard to break down and give our chance by not getting stuffed, by staying in the game as long as possible. So I think in the couple of days leading up to the match, you know, we sort of went through it as much as we could, albeit we couldn't do too much work on them, obviously not knowing what sort of side they would field.
There's Argyle fans in our hotel when we were up there the night before. Friends of mine from back in Devon were up on a night out in Liverpool. There was just green everywhere in Liverpool by all accounts on that Saturday night.
Travelled up on the Friday. I remember the hotel actually. You know, the hotels generally what we used to stay in, you know, pretty good. But I don't know why I remember it, but this one we stayed in was absolutely stinking.
They laughed about how everyone was just like completely hungover from the night before. You know, they all had stories about what they were up to in Liverpool the night before, and yeah, it was a real sort of invasion en masse of Argyle fans.
It's a completely different feel. You're not turning up at, you know, no disrespect to Newport or Port Vale or something like that. You know, you're turning up Anfield, stadium steeped in history and tradition. And I remember obviously pulling into sort of like where the stadium is, and there just being, you know, loads and loads, hundreds and hundreds of Argyle fans just waiting to wave the bus in and clap in and stuff like that. And all of a sudden when you turned up, you thought, right, this is it then. This is, you know, we're here.
When you came in and there's all the fans at the side, it was as if it was a cup final day. As you drove into the stadium with all the fans and stuff, it was yeah, an amazing feeling really. Got videos of it. We were all recording as we came in, so you can see all the fans in the changing room, coming out to the pitch, realising how big the actual stands look when you're on the pitch. And then, like say, leading up as you're warming up and stuff, and all our fans there, it was already building the energy. So it was for myself exciting. I was buzzing for it. Couldn't wait for the game to kick off.
Did you truthfully believe you could win?
No. I remember sort of talking with Foxy and that about it a little bit on the way to the game and stuff, and just being like, just got to stay in the game. The longer you stay in the game, the more chance you've got of, I don't know, getting a draw or at least, you know, getting a goal.
We'd gone away from home at times in League Two even, and sometimes you have to sit back and soak up. We probably did the same at Newport at times. We had to sit back, soak things up. Sonny Bradley, Jan Song, you know, these are lads that would, you know, defend for the life. They'd head everything and clear everything and block shots and block tackles, and you had legs around you and you had people on the counter. You know, it was a well-built team, I thought, that one.
It was just about, I think, being a solid unit. But that's what we were under Derek.
We were quite good at that. We go to teams in League Two, and if we had to play like that, we would. I think we were very result-driven at that point, and whatever it needed to do to get results, we would do.
Firstly, the team sheet came out and they'd gone quite young, and there was quite a lot made of how young they'd actually gone. But that was something that quite pleased us, because, you know, there were a few names on there that we hadn't really heard of. So, you know, we thought, oh, we'll take that. Of course, there were a few that we certainly had heard of.
You speak about sort of the names at the time, maybe they weren't quite what but they're still Liverpool. They're still athletically better than us. They're still faster. They're still stronger. That's why they play at the level they play at, because they're very, very athletic and fast players. I remember You'll Never Walk Alone, and they sing that at the start, and that is one of the sort of the most goosebump period. I don't know that word. Just the hairs on the back of your neck stand up when that happens.
It's a weird feeling listening to You'll Never Walk Alone as well on the pitch. It was emotional feeling for some reason. I'm a Man United fan as well, so it shouldn't be, but it was it was a weird feeling to experience that on the pitch. And yeah, you definitely can understand why the Champions League nights there are so special and different things, because it does bring a whole lot of feelings towards the forefront. Definitely.
I was captain at the time, so I actually won the toss and decided not to turn them around, which is something like you usually do, especially when you're playing away from home. You turn the team away from where the favourite end to shoot.
Why did you choose not to do it?
I think there was two reasons. Partly it was almost out of respect for Liverpool that I didn't want to do that. But there was another reason, I think, which was probably more important, which was the fact that if we stayed as we were, and that meant Liverpool kicking into the coppin in the second half, it meant that we had our fans behind us for the first half. And I just thought we didn't need an ambush within the first 45 minutes, and maybe with all the play coming towards us, that it might help to have the Green Army behind us.
Well, I can remember it was backs against the wall for large parts. So it was trying to deal with their players, which we did quite well. We did well, just defensively, just staying strong, working together. Had our little moments when we had the ball.
Just remember how quick the game was. That's all I remember, just how quick the game seemed to be played at. The pace of their players, the strength, and just how we seemed to just keep going backwards and backwards. But we stayed in the game. We just hung in there. We were pretty resolute.
I think they got in a few times down our left-hand side. They gave us a few problems down there. But all in all, we were able to sort of park the bus in a sense and sort of take the sting out of the game a little bit.
In my head, I've got an image of 11 of us stood in our own box just sort of defending. But I don't think it was as extreme as that. But no, we just sort of did what we did. We held our shape well. We were competitive. We could compete. We had players that could head it. We had players that could defend, and we all stuck together. And that's it. I remember, I think it was Jake on the break, maybe.
My semi-chance in the game as well. I ran past, ran around him, fired the ball across the box, semi-shot cross kind of thing.
I remember Sturridge had a shot that I was right behind that went wide, and it just missed the post by inches. I just thought, what a finish that was. But fortunately for us, it went the other side of the post, and yeah, in the end, we saw it out.
I was a little bit surprised about how little I had to do probably on the day.
They had to. I think, like I say, it was a big compliment to us that they wanted to bring the big hitters on. They had to bring them on, and the manager was frustrated that he had to go for a replay down in Plymouth.
It was the big part I remember. It was the fans. The fans were just throughout so loud you didn't really hear like the rest of Anfield. It's just our fans the whole game.
I've been fortunate to have lots of different experiences while at Argyle, and it was different. There was certainly a relief when the game finished. Also, a lot of satisfaction. The fact that we'd gone to such a place and was able to force the draw and bring them back to where to home park.
You're buzzing because you get to play against a top team again. It's going to be at home, so the atmosphere and what's going to come with that, and the way it was, like the extra seat and everything, the way it was as well. It was everything and more. So I think it's more so you celebrate it because so you should. You know what I mean? You get to play against them again. You don't get to play big Premier League teams that often. Players that were playing at our level. So yeah, it's just something to really celebrate.
I remember the fans and their relation at the final whistle, and you could almost sense the relief really in the. That feeling of we can't believe it. We've come here and got a draw, and now they're coming back to us.
And I always hear this, that you've got an unbeaten record at Anfield.
Yeah, played 2, drawn 2, so it's hardly prolific, but it's fine for me.
Well, there was certainly a feeling that we stood more of a chance this time.
We generally thought we've got a chance here.
My memory of it is that for the whole week when we were in the training, just having people queuing up outside, it just felt like there was a constant stream of fans just queuing up for tickets. And everywhere you went, people spoke about it, and that's the feel you want around the city.
Yeah, there was definitely a feeling of like, you know, we're going to make this uncomfortable for them. We're going to give this a right good go. At that point, it's like you got your game face on, so it's you know, you're just trying to focus and everything, and you sort of look around a little bit and think, what are these lads making of this? You know, this isn't what they're used to. Spacious tunnels and dressing rooms, and I think we got a murmur beforehand that, you know, they weren't very happy with how the away dressing rooms were and stuff like that. But that just plays into your hands a little bit. So we're just raring to get go at that point.
My big memory of that replay was I thought we were a bit more competitive. I thought we had a little bit more about us going forward.
During the game, we generally thought we've got chances. We had chances in the game. I think Argyle had a good few chances. We were definitely in the game. We could have got something out of it.
Yeah, Coutinho. I think that was a couple of weeks before his 120 million move to Barcelona, wasn't it? We were quite surprised to see him on the team sheet, but I think he'd been injured. Anyway, yeah, he got the corner, and I think they worked the block, and he sort of whipped it into the sort of near post area, and Lucas has just arrived on it just at the right time. Got really good contact.
Coutinho's corner, and there is the breakthrough, and it's come from Lucas, and Plymouth will be absolutely dumbfounded.
And he was so close that I could only get a touch on it. I couldn't do enough to sort of like turn it over or around the post of the bar, so it went in.
To concede and lose to a set play was frustrating. Over the two games, to only concede from a set play was tough.
I think it galvanised us as well in the same way, because I think not long after that we had to jump out of our slots a little bit. And I remember Oscar Falcao going well down the right-hand side, putting a good ball across the box, and Garita going close. I think they managed to scramble it away for a corner.
There's that diagonal again, getting the fullback high up the field.
There's Trelkel. Garita waiting in the middle. Here he is!
But all of a sudden, then the stadium went up, and I think that's almost forced it into a bit of a better tie.
Well, when he made contact there, Jake Jervis.
It's remembered, but also one of those, like, oh my God, imagine if it went in, and the one where I hit the post with a scissor kick and stuff.
It was a spectacular effort, wasn't it? Jake in those positions, and that, you know, you sort of fancy him because he was one of those players that, you know, he could score that type of goal.
How many times have you watched that effort of yours?
At the time, I watched it so many times. I've not seen it for a long time, but yeah, it's something that a lot of Argyle fans bring it up. To be fair, a lot of Argyle fans bring it up. Remember moments like that, along with the Newport in Portsmouth and various different things. But it's one of those that gets brought up, and I've got fond memories of it. It's, yes, if only it went in, but at the same time, it just wasn't meant to be. It was one of those things. But yeah, it was. Yeah, now it's just a fond memory, really. At the time, it was one of those, if you are only here, fifth and buts, but now it's nothing but good memories attached to it now.
Did you have time to bring it down in your chest and maybe just finish it rather than going for the flamboyant one, JJ?
I don't know. I'm not too sure, to be fair. It's one of those. It's connected well.
I am joking there, by the way. I'm joking.
Yeah, but yeah, it was one of those where, yeah, if that goes in, unbelievable. And yellow cards, top off in the crowd. It's probably a bit like the Portsmouth one when I jumped and got lost in the crowd there. I think it would have been similar scenes, definitely.
It was just our luck on that evening. It just clipped the outside of the post, and you know, we actually thought that was the moment. You know, will we get another one? I think it was Jan give away the penalty. It was on Moreno. It was a bit of a nothing challenge, really.
Ojo. And Moreno flying in. And the referee has pointed to the spot.
I think it might have been Jan that was the tackle. I thought it was a bit harsh at the time.
Luke McCormick has some work to do here. And he saved it as well. It's a terrific save. Poor penalty from Divock Origi.
There wasn't a lot of thought behind it other than I'd sort of half picked away, but I wasn't going to fully commit to it. I don't know why. Something just told me like I need to sort of almost go one way, but cover the middle a little bit as well, I think. And yeah, it wasn't probably his greatest strike of the ball or the cleanest strike of the ball. But yeah, I was happy to be able to get behind it and keep it out.
Just give everyone another massive boost and kept us in the game. That's all you want. You just want that one chance at one little moment. And the longer we were in the game, the more the fans were involved. By the end of it, I just think we ran out of bodies at the time. I think we were a bit low on numbers, especially attacking wise.
Say the FA Cup to a lot of players that are born in England means a lot, and I think to say that you played against such big teams in the competition, had those moments and stuff, it's definitely up there as one that if I do look back on my career and talk to people about it, that's something that will come up.
Those two games were sort of the real highlights of my time. I'm glad that we were really competitive in both games.
It's still one of my fondest memories that I have throughout my career. It wasn't to be, unfortunately.